Yeah. We back. We back, baby. For you guys didn't see us for a while. You guys thought we were out. You guys doubted us. You guys thought we were finished. Nah, not at all. We were just cooking up, just getting ready. Essentially, this is season 2. This is season 2, essentially. So, yeah, man, we got more guests, got more music. That there was by Kate Nickel. Kate Nickel. So that's a new one for me. I was just reading from the screen there. Kate Nickel with by. What's this on my beard? Yeah, banger, man. But we got a few bits more. Of course, you see me here by myself today. My guy Harlequin, had to do his thing, little personal business, but he's getting that sorted. He'll be back next week. So yeah, man, we're gonna keep it rocking. From here, we got Delhi by the guy Superman on the beat, the legend. Let's get it, man. Here's Delhi. I didn't get you on. Yeah, you caught me speaking to the guest. You guys don't know. Well, you probably do know who it is. We did announce it, but before that, we're gonna get through some more vibes. It's Friday. Hey, I'm on a buzz, man. I'm on a buzz. It's Friday, like I said. That was Delhi featuring Honeymoon, the Honeymoon. Yeah, big up Superman, big up Honey doing their thing, man. But yeah, man, we're gonna keep the vibes going. This next one is I Don't Have Words by Becky Sakasa, another rising star. Let's get it, man. Yes. So that was I Don't Have Words by the amazing Becky Sakasa. Hey, yo, Becky, we need to have you on the show, man. She's doing so well. I've not actually met her properly. I've just seen her doing her thing, but so love, man. We're gonna play two more. Then we're gonna get our guest on the show. So next one is One Time by the one and only Just Harry, another rising star doing his thing. His show is coming up real soon as well, so check out his socials, get involved, support the scene, man. But this is One Time by Just Harry. Let's get it.
Say one time, I said one time she made that.
Yes. That was One Time by my guy Just Harry. We're gonna get this next one. This next one's special. This next one is from our guest, of course, Mr. Alx Romance, but we'll get to him soon. This is his latest single, Ride or Die. Yeah, like I said, I keep saying, man, there's so much talent in Scotland. Another rising star. He's doing so well. He's really pushing the boundaries musically, even with perceptions of, what our artist should be, what a rapper should be. So, yeah, man, let's get into this and then we'll get into the interview. This is Ride or Die, Alx Romance. Let's get it. Yeah, that was my boy, Alx Romance. At the same time, we got the man himself in the building. So, yeah, man, we'll make some noise. So, Alx Romance.
Come on.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. It's good to be here. I'm really happy to be here with you. Yeah. We got me in. Well, it's not taking too long, so
Yeah.
I'm happy. But yeah, it's good to be here with you.
Yeah. Nah, it feels overdue though, because, like I said, like you've been doing your thing. You've been really pushing. Like I would say, you're in the top 5 artists that I can confidently say in Scotland. 1, who has a bright future, and 2, who's actually working. Like there's a lot of artists who, and again, I feel like sometimes like we come down a bit heavy on the show on artists and Scottish artists, but it's because we want people to actually grow and want our scene to grow. But you know, I'm guilty of it myself. Sometimes you can look busier than you actually are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like on social media, you can look like you're doing pretty well, but you're not actually working. So, yeah, man, I would definitely say you're one of the guys who's really pushing it. But how's things been for you?
Yeah, it's been things are going well for the most part. I think I always want more. I think that's a bit of a blessing and a curse to have that kind of mindset, because I'm never really satisfied. I'm satisfied for maybe like the 5 minutes after something's gone well, and then what's next? And people have often told me, you need to enjoy the journey. I mean, that's what my manager tells me all the time. You need to try and enjoy the journey a bit more. But I suppose that's a work in progress. But things are going well. I'm focusing on my content right now. Obviously we both had a great night and great performances at Pitch, so I think that was a really exciting time, and I'm looking forward to getting back out and performing again whenever that would be. Yeah.
Have you got anything planned, like performance-wise? Are you working on?
I'm working on stuff. Okay. I haven't got anything booked right now.
Okay.
There's been quite a few things have come and gone since Pitch, and I was hoping to perform. I love performing. I think one of the main reasons I do this is to perform.
To perform live,
even though I get so nervous. I always feel so good afterwards. I think it's like a humiliation ritual type of thing.
Right. What's your process to fight nerves or to deal with nerves, like performance nerves?
I wouldn't say I have. I don't think I really have an actual
ritual or routine or something.
I go. I'm not sure if I'm dealing with it well, to be honest.
Right. You just let the anxiety take you.
I think I just suck it up. I just accept it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I know this is going to be this way.
Yeah.
Quite often, I think if you see me with my shades on, then
it's real.
Yeah. I'm probably sweating.
It's real. No, that's facts though. Like I actually seen something about dealing with anxiety, like performance anxiety especially, but just anxiety towards something like kind of in general. And what it was basically saying is like instead of telling yourself it's going to be fine, like when you're like you've got the performance coming up and you're like right it's going to be cool, calm down, don't stress, it's going to be okay, it's just a show, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That feeling, so that kind of almost makes it worse. So what this video was saying, because it kind of confirms that you need to be nervous, or it just kind of reinforces the nerves. Instead, you should imagine the best outcome and use the nervous energy to kind of turn the nerves to excitement for it, because nerves and excitement are
two sides of the same coin.
You know what I mean?
It's all been told.
exactly. Because you're excited, but you're like, I'm so excited that I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
So you should try and like almost not trick yourself, but just be like, oh, this show is gonna be great. The crowd is gonna go crazy, they're gonna love it, I'm gonna recite every word perfectly, it's gonna be the best show, everyone's gonna be jumping, you know what I mean? Just putting that in your mind already, you're buzzing for it, you're like yes, instead of being like, oh, no, don't worry, calm down, chill, you know what I mean? It's a different energy to it.
It's something that I'm certainly I'm not actually actively working on it, but I probably should. Because I've probably had at least a couple of times where I've been probably a little bit rude to people before I've gone on stage, and it's because I've been so nervous. But instead of, it's a difficult one, because I don't think there's really any benefit to going around and kind of being apologetic and being as for the fact I'm nervous. Oh, I'm so nervous. You know, I'd say maybe one time to somebody with my manager or the DJ, oh, I'm quite nervous. But I'm not going to be like, I'm so nervous, over and over again. I don't think there's any benefit to that.
Yeah.
But sometimes in dealing with people who are not part of the team, instead of, maybe I can be a bit kind of
standoffish.
Aye, exactly.
Right.
So I've definitely made that mistake a couple of times.
Yeah.
But you know, you live and you learn. So I try not to do it. I think it is what it is.
No, it's natural, man. Like I'll say the same for me in my like same situation. Like sometimes you get into that zone like a day before the show. It's cool, whatever. 6 hours before the show, it's like okay.
Yeah,
it's coming. 50, bro. If like I've learned to manage it, right? But it's like the 30 to 15 minutes before the show, I need to lock in with myself.
Yeah.
Like I can't have. Even sometimes my girl's trying to. Like she's like, you nervous? I'm like, no, I'm cool. Yeah. But it's that way. Like even like people come and Pat, blah blah blah. Like when you're actually in the venue, people know you're about to go on. You know, like Alex, are you gonna kill it? You know what I mean? But you're a bit cold. Sometimes you feel yourself just being a bit like kind of whatever. But you know, like I'm saying, it's essential to just zone in that mode. But your team would know that, but other people won't know that. So that's why you can come across as if you're rude, but people don't understand like, this guy's locked in. He's like, he's getting ready to, do his thing. Yeah.
I completely agree with you on that. You know, I've been in the green room and I just need to be, I think I just need to be there by myself.
Yeah.
You know, the only things that can happen if I'm in there with somebody else, I mean, we can sit in silence, and part of me maybe feels like a wee bit guilty, but the other option is that I start speaking out of nervousness, and that doesn't really make me feel any better at all. And the other option would be the other person tries to speak to me, and I do not want to speak to them, which then we get a situation where maybe be a wee bit like but it's a bit rude. So I just try and get just need my own space. Just need my own space before going on. And
that's why green rooms are so essential, because you don't always get green rooms at our level.
Not always. No.
Depending on the venue and stuff as well, but that is actually an important point to raise. Like artists need that space to not be like, them times like you're about to go on stage but you're in the middle of the like flow, you know what I mean, and everyone's coming up to you and chatting to you, and you're like, bro, I'm trying to focus on giving you the, like, you're gonna smash it, not if you keep talking to me, you know what I mean? But being in the green room is that environment where, like, even if it's me and you and other people in the green room, if you're sitting in a corner, I ain't gonna bother you, because I know this guy's locked in. He's, well, sometimes I'll go to a corner and just like practice my bars, like that one song that you're not too sure about the lyrics and you're worried about that, you know what I mean? That's that space that you need, man.
100%.
It's important.
100%, man. I think and I think always afterwards, if there's been a bunch of artists on stage, then we usually get a kind of debrief with each other once everybody's performed, doesn't it? Everybody will chat and everybody's back to normal, It takes you it's a different frame of mind, it's a different mind frame, to do that. It's mind altering. Definitely. So when you come back, everybody's like,
come back to earth, and then you're like, oh,
this is what happened to me,
guys.
like, what happened to you?
Do you ever get like, how do you experience being on stage? Like, are you, how would I say, are you lucid in that? Like, do you remember everything, or is it just like a blur of like, you're in the moment and then you come off stage and like, what happened? Or is that a mix of both sometimes, depending?
I think it does blend in together to a degree. I always say to people about the pitch one, I was so nervous throughout the whole thing, because I felt like it was
while on stage.
Yeah,
right.
so nervous. And even when I finished my last song, I thought, I don't know how I've done here. I thought, I don't know if I've made the most of this opportunity. And that to me is like the most important thing is to make the most of the opportunity. And so I wasn't sure if I'd done that, and I'm very critical of myself, so I wasn't sure if I'd done that. But when I came off the stage, everybody was really complimentary, and I got the feeling that I had done a good job, and I definitely had a good night after that, because I was just relaxed, and I felt like I thought, do you know what, if everybody's saying I did alright, then I must have done alright. I'm not gonna deep it. And then when I looked at the footage, I thought, he's done alright, done good, man. So, and I think it was a good thing. So.
Nah, you did really well, man. But I think what that boils down to sometimes is like, even those nerves that you get, it's because you care about it. Being so, you probably done the best at pitch. Like most people would say, yo, Alex's performance was the best at pitch, right? But that makes sense to me now, because you're telling me you were nervous on stage. Because for me, like, I'm nervous until I get to stage.
Right.
First thing I say, then nerves just start to go,
Really, yeah.
But I've obviously learned that over a long time of just like, just get on stage. Once you're there, it's fine. But for a lot of other people, everyone gets nervous before stage, right? Don't let anyone lie to you, even the massive artists, right? But for a lot of people, the care for performance isn't there, so they get on stage and they get comfortable, and I don't know how to describe it. Like, there's a difference. You telling me that you're nervous on stage means that you're thinking about every single action. You're thinking about, I need to make the most of this. You're not just like there to just look cool and just like, hey guys, look at me, I'm on stage. You know what I mean? You're like, yo, I need to make sure I'm engaging with these people. Like, is this the right, is this the right song for the moment? Are they feeling it? Should I switch it? You know what I mean? You're trying to make a good show instead of just being up there and just like, okay, I'm gonna perform,
Yeah, man. I think for me, it's about striking that, that balance, that balance, because it can easily go overboard with that nervous energy. If it's not managed properly, it can go overboard. And but performing, I think I definitely get more comfortable as the set goes on. There's no doubt. Like, I'm looser at the last song than I am in the first. And
you're like, damn, I'm enjoying this. Like, oh, it's my last song. Damn.
I'm probably just starting to kind of
get a bit, to actually enjoy it.
Get a bit loose. But I do like. I think as artists, and in general, as humans, we like to be seen. And when we do something, when we perform our art on stage, it's vulnerable. Obviously, it's a very vulnerable thing to do. I think that we all need to remember that it's not just normal. And I do. There is that part of me that enjoys being there and being seen and being praised for the stuff that I'm doing. Absolutely. But I don't know what it will take for me to get overly comfortable. I suppose if things go really well and everybody's telling me how amazing I am, then I'm sure I'll do something stupid at some point. I'm sure I'll start to believe at some point. But I've got good people around me, so they'll keep me right.
No, that's it, man. It takes time as well, I think, to just understand yourself on stage. Like, being an artist, there's so many different parts of being an artist, and stage is it's a skill in itself. A lot of people think just because you're an artist, stage goes hand in hand. Like, well, if you can make music, you should be able to go on stage and perform. And that's why I sometimes criticize the readiness of Scottish artists when sometimes to just put on stage. Like, don't get me wrong, everyone should get should have the chance to go on stage. It's a vital thing to learn, right? But I feel like sometimes not everyone's fully helped into getting into that point, if that makes sense. Like people just thrown into like, oh, you're making good music, jump on stage and do pitch, you know. It doesn't really work like that, you know. It's like a skill that you need to actually build up. Like you need to do small shows at, you know, at college or to your friends, like sitting in a room with your friends. Like it's literally gradual. It's a progression. And I think going from, for example, if I was a new artist and my song blew up on TikTok, right, which is very possible these days, new artists, and now I'm supporting someone in the Hydro, bro, that's not the progression that you want to take, because
it's a big leap,
bro. So imagine how nervous we are at pitch in front of, you know, 100, 200 people, whatever it is, and now you're on stage in front of 60,000. Bro, if you ain't ready for that experience could even tarnish your perception of performance, because you just be like, no. Like every time you go on stage, you'll just like stage fright, you know. For sure.
It kind of makes me think of, you know, with the young footballers. You know, you put the obviously likes Rangers had a period where they would throw the young boys in, and they weren't a very good team at the time, and they would put I remember they had Leon King, who was a 16-year-old centre back, played in the Old Firm, and I believe Moussa Dembele scored a hat trick in that game, and Leon King was sent off. He was 16-year-old. You know, they'd always talked about him as this guy who was a bright future, but he's barely played any games for Rangers to this day, and I'm sure that mismanagement set him back. And I think that, you know, I'm sure that can happen with artists too. I think that's definitely, you know, why it's important that there are different levels. I think that pretty much everyone can perform at a certain level, but yeah, but
you can't skip steps.
No, I think it's really obvious when people have been when people are pushed through before they're ready. I think it's really obvious, but it's also not their fault.
It's not their fault. It's not their fault at all.
So it's just music industry, just like life, innit? It's just sometimes weird things happen. No, definitely it's not their fault, like, whatsoever. And like any time that I make these statements, I always like to emphasize that it's never the artist's fault. Like, artists, if you're getting gigs, do the gigs, right? But you know, be careful, you know, in what you're getting yourself involved with, because like we said, like, not every opportunity, if you're not ready for an opportunity, you know, it could be more detrimental than, you know, actually beneficial. You know, so just do your thing. Like, bro, even me, like, I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm ready for, you know, a world tour with a massive artist. You know, I've been performing for many years. I've done loads of shows, but I'm still at a level where, you know, I can do the O2 Academy easily, you know, coming out to thousands of people, that's fine. Barrowlands, that's fine, you know, because I've done them and I've overcome that fear. For sure. But the Hydro tomorrow, bro, my gosh, I'll be like, oh my days, if I mess this up, if this goes wrong, I'm finished, you know what I mean? That's 60,000 people, whatever the cap is, you know? So is it that big, is it? Wow. I think so. Could be mistaken. I think it's like 60,000 people. It's amazing. But it's one of those things, like, if you're doing a few O2 and you're really used to 1,000 people, cool. Now you're doing a bit bigger, you know, 4,000, 5,000 people. You know what I mean? It's that progression, but at the same time, things don't always work like that. And I'm sure that if you or I did get offered to go to the Hydro tomorrow, we'd go in a heartbeat. Hey, you know. I'm not saying don't give me it tomorrow. If you got a show for either me or Alx and I at the Hydro anytime you want, give us it, man. It's also down to determination, and that's why I said
I'm glad that you told me you were nervous the whole performance. It sounds bad, but to me that shows me you really care about what you're doing, because pitch is good, but it's not the biggest show you can get, you know. But even to be nervous for that shows me, like, you know, if you did get a bigger opportunity, you'll still be nervous, but you do a lot more preparation than someone who's like, cool, I'm gonna go party in the night before and this and just jump on stage and just do a few of my tracks and F it, man. If it works out, it works out, you know. You'll be sat there the night before, like, you know, pacing back and forth, like, all right, cool, I need to make sure is the music prepped? The music's prepped. Is this, you know what I mean? Yeah. And all that is what makes a great performance.
Yeah. I think there are...
Do you want some water, by the way?
Oh, sure, yeah, that'd be great. I think there are people who... Thank you. I think there are, you know, there are people who... Maybe if you get too much too early, or if you... I don't know, I'm sure at any point things can go to your head at any point, you know. And maybe the complacency creeps in, and I think at that point you've either got to be... I don't think you really get away with that in Scotland. I don't think so. I think maybe some of these American artists who built... I mean, look, if you... Ultimately, if you have such a massive, you know, pulling power that... And, you know, your fans are crazy obsessed with you. At that point, maybe you do a few things out of pocket, and it's kind of, they're like, okay, it's fine, we forgive him, we forgive her, whatever. I think in Scotland, when you're coming up, you really need to be as professional as possible. And you know, with the nervous thing, I think it's fine to be nervous as long as you're able to pull it out of the bag. I think if I was crumbling on stage, then, well, we'd be having a very different conversation.
No, that's facts, basically, because the energy you give off to the crowd, they feel that.
Yes.
A lot of artists don't know that. Like, I've been watching people on stage, and I just know they're nervous, and in my head I'm like, oh, don't mess up. Like, oh, don't crumble, please, man. Like, instead of enjoying it, I'm just like that way. Like, imagine someone on a tightrope and you're walking beside them and you're just like, whoa, like, don't fall.
You got that secondhand anxiety from them.
Exactly. That's how you feel like when someone can't manage the anxiety, because, you know, it's very obvious. It's very obvious when everything is fixated. Like, if I'm staring at you, watching every single movement that you do, like, if you're sitting here, like, I'll know, is this person, is he calm, is he nervous, you know? So as much as, like I'm saying, as much as nerves are good, and me saying you being on stage nervous is great, you still need to manage those nerves and actually you know, use them as energy, because it is all and that's what I was saying. That's why I like this video, because instead of using the nerves and creating more nerves, use it and turn it into excitement, and turn it into adrenaline, to be like, cool, I'm pumped, you know.
I think that's you know, I would like to feel, I would love to go on stage and feel like my performance is it's giving people permission to have a good time. I think that's what I used to try to do with my old stuff, where it was really, really rowdy, and it kind of got to the point with that where I was like, you can't just force people to have a good time, you know. You kind of have to coax them into it, and, like, you know, this is a carrot, not the stick. Sometimes I was getting the stick out. You know, have
fun. Enjoy, man. I've seen that.
I know. We spoke about that. I was guilty of that at times. Maybe it never went like. I mean, I think maybe the pitch open mic the year before, 2023.
Right.
And obviously I kind of spat the dummy after that. And why do they not like me?
But I think that one wasn't like it was. You still did what you needed to do, right?
Aye.
And that, bro, that made weird in a weird way, that made me respect you more from that point, because when I was watching, I was just like, okay, here's someone who actually cares. And it wasn't like you came on and done some generic rap or pop thing and then it was like, why is no one vibing, you know?
Yeah.
It was like you were doing something different.
Yeah.
And the crowd wasn't ready for it. We were just like, what is going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I used to wear hardly any clothes.
I'm sure you were
well.
like topless or something.
My
you
shirt
know?
off, yeah.
Yeah. So this guy just comes on with massive energy, and you're doing your thing, and it was different. Like even your music today, like it's still new to me. Like your style of genre. Like obviously there's people you have inspirations from, and I've heard the sound before.
Yeah.
But no one else in Scotland does your genre. No one else that I can think of.
No,
and the way you do it as well.
Yeah.
Coupled with your personality and who you are, you know what I mean? It's like it was something new, and everyone, like, I don't even think people. I generally don't think people disliked it. I think everyone was just like in awe, like, what's going on?
They were like, what is this?
But
I remember Sanjeev said to me, he's like, well, it's the only thing anyone's talking about. So
yeah. Like, hey.
And I was like, that's good.
Any publicity?
Thank you, mate. Thanks, mate.
But
that was quite funny.
It was cool though, but it made me respect you, because I was like, right, like he actually cares about. You care about your craft, and you were like, alright, cool. Like I wanted to make an impact, and yeah, man, it is what it is, man. Look at you now. Look at you now, man.
Is that the first time we met each other there, or did we meet each other? Did we meet each other at maybe like Crep City or something? I don't know when we first met each other.
No, I don't think I've ever been to Crep City.
No.
I think that was the first time. Like I knew of you, but that was the first time I actually interacted with you. I think.
I think so.
Like I think we kind of knew each other online, type of thing. Like we probably followed each other or something. But that was the first time I spoke to you in person, I think.
Yeah, I had a feeling that we might have met each other before, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but definitely spoke to you then. Definitely spoke to you at pitch, because I remember you said to me the next day, you were like, don't worry about it. Like you're a good artist and that, and I was like, this guy's all right. Like this is this game that we were in. It's there's not that many interactions like that. There's not tons of like super genuine interactions.
Yeah.
There's a lot of everybody's polite to each other, but I've never really been somebody who really valued that, valued like small talk and stuff. And I've learned to. I think it's about kind of behaving in a dignified way as well. Like when you're just polite to everybody, I think like you don't just walk around like ignoring people just because you don't have like a real connection with them. So I think I've learned that, but no, I really value that, and like I enjoy your company, and I have a lot of respect for you. Like I've told you that many times, so you know.
No, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, and yeah, likewise. Like I think for me, it boils down to like, how do you want to be remembered when you're not here? You know, any day, you know, not to get mad deep, but any day you cannot be here, you know.
Yeah.
And I would rather you know, not that, you know, I go like, oh, let me act nice to Alex so that he can say nice things, so that he can come to my funeral and say nice things. It's just,
he was a good man.
Yeah, he was a good man.
He was a good man. Like.
But you would only say that if you truly believe that, you know. If you felt if you felt it was fake, you would just be like, yeah, he was cool to me, but yeah, whatever.
Well, I had a funny thing at a funeral where the coffin was lowered into the grave, and the undertaker, he just said, "Aye, he was a good man." I'm trying not to crack up, like, you know, because I would always be the type to say to my dad, like, I've always been quite cynical, so I would say things to my dad like, oh, as if they wouldn't say that, you know. You know, it's like, it's not about that, like, it's just, you know, there's certain things we do certain things a certain way, and It's just, you know.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be like, well, here's all the things he did wrong by me.
He owed me money. just putting that out there, guys. If his wife is here, you know, just putting that out there. But nah, man, it goes back to, you know, nursery vibes. You know, treat people how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
You know, like literally the most simple things that we forget when we grow up and we think we're all cool and all this and stuff. Like, bro, I would much rather, and I always say this, I would much rather be remembered as a good person than a great person. Because there's a lot of great people. Diddy is a great person in the sense where he's great, he's grand, you know, he's done so much.
Vast empire, yeah.
Vast empire, he's a millionaire, he's a billionaire even. He's produced for so much, you know. But could we say he's a good person?
Well, probably not.
You know what I mean?
He's got a great amount of baby oil.
Yeah, got a great amount. Yeah, not to get into that, obviously.
No, never mind about that.
Yeah, never mind about that. But
I didn't say that.
But my example stands. Like, I feel like people, especially in this generation, we value we value people online and social media as clout, and man. You see someone and you're admiring them, but you don't actually know who they are or how they are as a person. Like you sometimes get these type of interactions where someone meets their idol and they're like, oh, he's a total ass, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like,
the guy was he was terrible to always find, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just couldn't see myself being in that type of conversation. And if that meant that I wasn't, you know, a massive star because I was treating people nice, then so be it, you know?
No, well, I don't think that'll get in the way at all. So I think that, yeah, you can definitely be a star and treat people good.
Definitely, man.
I think
definitely.
So.
I think
so. You might not be able to take a picture with every single person who wants one at a certain point, but we'll worry about that when we come to it.
Yeah, we'll get to that, man. But yes, what you've been working on? Like, what's coming up? What people to expect?
Well, I've got another release coming out at the end of the year, in November. I've got a release coming out again with Gary Dillon. So all this,
right?
Yeah. So Gary's with 23rd Precinct.
Nice.
And I've been working with him. Well, I wrote all my stuff with him at the beginning of the year, pretty much.
Right.
And been releasing stuff steadily since then. I've been doing some work with other producers as well, and I think that stuff will start to get released next year. So that's from the musical standpoint. I'm probably going to try and evolve the sound a wee bit again. Okay. Try and push it on a wee bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I don't even know what to expect in that, which is good.
When I first started making music, I said that I wanted to be able to rap. I can't remember who I said I wanted to be able to rap like, but it would probably be something funny like Tupac or something, you know.
Right.
You know, and I wanted to be able to sing like The Weeknd.
Right. Okay. So.
And I might not be able to sing like The Weeknd no matter how much training I put in, but I can definitely get a lot better than I am right now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna work on my voice, and I'm gonna try and push the sound on a wee bit with something that's, hopefully gonna be, not even necessarily different. You know, I'm listening to Artemis a lot at the minute. You know, I Like the Way You Kiss Me. Have you heard that song?
If I heard it, I'll probably be like, oh yeah, that song. But I couldn't say my name now.
And that kind of higher vocal.
Right.
I want to explore that and see what I can do with that, because I'm finding myself in studio sometimes where I wish I could push my vocal a wee bit more. I think we'll get some nice tones and textures coming out of that. So I've been doing a wee bit of vocal training just by myself on YouTube at the minute.
Nice.
I'll maybe get a vocal coach at some point. I think whenever you go to a specialist for anything in any walk of life, I think it's really important to know exactly what you want.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of trying to figure out what I want exactly.
Yeah.
And if I can do it by myself off YouTube, then that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Probably can, to be honest.
You probably can. Like, Yeah, like
you can
say,
learn anything on YouTube. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's you know, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm excited to get to making some new stuff because I'm ready for it again. I tend to make my stuff in bursts,
Right.
and then it'll be like a wee bit more sporadic. So, but yeah, I've definitely got a few things cooking. Content, obviously, I'm constantly bashing your ear about. We need to get on some content.
On the content game.
Yeah.
How many tracks did you release this year? So
This will
Romeo
be
and
number.
Juliet.
This will be number 6. I did 27 Club, Where We Begin. Oh no, 27 Club, Miss You, Where We Begin, Romeo and Juliet Are Wasted, Ride or Die, and I'm gonna have this next one coming out. I haven't announced it yet, but I'll tell you what it's called. It's called The Renegade.
Exclusive.
I've been performing it.
You get exclusives here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Originally,
Did you
when
perform at Pitch?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure where in the set. Near the end.
Was it the one where I thought there was a song where I was misquoting the words?
It wasn't the final song, nah.
No, right.
It was maybe the one. It was maybe one or two before that.
Right.
It was like I'm the renegade. Do, 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 do.
Right.
It's like a hyper pop. It's a weird song, really, like because it's hyper pop. It's quite a hyper pop beat, but the vocal's not like overly processed.
Right.
It's quite dry. I think it's fairly dry vocal.
Right.
At least by my standards, I think it's pretty dry vocal. And yeah, the beat's pretty crazy. When I first made it, I was like, this is my favorite song, like, you know, and we decided to release other ones before it because we thought, yeah, we'll maybe get some radio play. And
It's kind of lead up to it.
yeah, so we'll drop that in November, and then we'll get back to releasing in January, I think.
That's cool. How you finding releasing like
I would, yeah.
the whole process of making music and then releasing, like, do you enjoy it or is it just something you need to do?
I mean,
Bit of both sometimes.
yeah, it's a funny one because I think actually the biggest piece of the puzzle, I think there's two things I could work on. Would maybe be my organization in terms of, you know, they say like industry standard, you want to reach out to people maybe 6 weeks prior.
Yeah.
And I don't think I often get that because I'm quite spontaneous with my releases, but I actually think that's just down to a lack of planning.
Yeah.
So I think I could be a bit more organized.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that's missing from the release strategy is I do think it's the promotional aspect, because I'm getting my songs played on Introducing, which is nice. I'm getting put on, you know, the sort of regional playlists and the organisation playlists and whatnot. But the thing for me I think is really gonna change it in terms of, you know, getting 100 streams in the first week to getting 1,000 and whatever comes afterwards, is going to be the promotional content that goes online. You know, I think that's what's going to drive people. Romeo and Juliet seems to have got picked up by the algorithm a little bit on Spotify, so they're pushing that a little bit. But I think with the content, you know, and the stuff that I've been looking at and like some of the ideas I've been sending to you, like, I think it's a good time to talk about it, I guess. Like, so what I was saying to you earlier is like, I think there's two types of artists who do well on social media. There are the people who have to work for it and the people who don't. And I'm not trying to bash the people who don't have to work for it, because they have to work. Because the reason they don't have to work for it is the same as the people who do, is because their music is so good, or it hits that spot at the right time, and it does the work for it. You know, you put your phone down in the corner of the room, stand back, vibe to your music for 10 seconds and post it, and boom. You know, that's not a piece of content that is planned out. That's just something you just get, that you get away with it. It's actually the strategy I see big labels doing. You know, it's like, okay, I'm gonna have this artist try make as many songs as possible, some in this style, some in this style, some in this style, some in this style. We post like snippets of each. We won't really put much effort into the content. And whichever one comes out best, that's the one.
That's when we attack on it.
Yeah, and it's a good strategy as long as you get something that hits.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times, you know, maybe an artist will have one big song, or maybe a few big songs, but there might come a point where things stop hitting. You know, and at that point, I think this is why I think the strategy's flawed. So, you know, back to the artists that do have to work.
Yeah.
You see people who are putting a lot of effort into their music.
Yeah.
Look at somebody like there's a guy called Jake, JVKE.
Yeah, checked out the videos.
Yeah.
I think it was like the first link.
Yeah, probably was. He's an example of somebody who he maxed out the potential of all of his releases because of the quality of his content. I think he has about 20 million monthly listeners on Spotify. To me, he's like the pinnacle of that kind of this. I don't know how to put them into a category as just artists that do have to work hard. He probably doesn't have to put as much effort into his content now as he did, because he's already got that he's got the motion now.
So I was gonna ask, sorry to cut you off.
No, go on.
But just to kind of add to the context. So, do you know much of Jake's journey? Because I don't.
I know that he started originally posting snippets, and his mum would often be in the videos. So he would do things like he would create the song. He'd producer, songwriter. He would do it all himself, I believe. So we'd have the finished song, and then he would sketch. He would do a video. He would do a sketch where he would say
his mum's the one who
she was making the beat.
Oh, okay.
And she'd be like, "Oh, what do you want me to cook up today?"
Right. I think I've seen one of the videos.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that was kind of how he started.
So
that was his thing. Yeah. His mum was in his videos a lot.
Yeah.
Like, so that was kind of his thing. Yeah. And you know, I think that if an artist decides to really go in on the content creation aspect, then to me, they will have a far better chance of getting the most out of every release that they do, regardless of whether any of them go viral. I think at a certain point, with that kind of strategy, you can almost have every song that you release go a little bit viral. Whereas
just not like explode, but do enough that everything's consistently feeding into each other.
Yeah, I think that's actually a realistic goal that you can plan for.
Yeah.
Whereas going super viral is not something you can plan. You can't strategize that.
It's hard to engineer going viral, because it then kind of defeats the kind of essence of it.
Yeah,
because going viral just feels like it's down to the people. It's not down to the creator.
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, with when you work on your content and you know how to market, I don't think you're ever going to find yourself in a position where you feel like, oh God, I'm stuck here. I can't get anything going again. But I think a lot of these artists, these TikTok artists, and you know, I would love to have a song like that. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of them, I do think they'll run it. It would make sense that they kind of come and go, because I think they're gonna struggle to replicate the success because they had no idea how they got it in the first place. So yeah, I would recommend people accept and enjoy the content creation aspect. You know, I've started to try and enjoy it more. You know, like I love doing kind of pranks and stuff like that. I like watching pranks. So a lot of the content that I have seen from good creators is this comedic in essence, and there's, you know, some prank elements to it.
Right. So
I'm like, let me do this, like, you know. And if you'd said that to me like a year or two ago, I'd have been like, it's got nothing to do with music. I'm not doing it. You know. But I think we just have to accept it now. I think we just have to accept that that's the world that we live in. It's gonna, the ability to build your brand on social media is gonna be the thing that sets you free as an artist. That's my quote.
That's a good quote, man. That's facts as well, bro. Because I feel like I feel like a lot of the time the frustration with making content is the lack of education behind it for artists. Because I'm one of those people who I'm like, I can't be bothered with content, man. I ain't trying to make content. It's got nothing to do. Well, it's got, you know, it helps the music, but at one point, at least a few months ago, I was stuck in the sense where I was like, this ain't gonna help, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather just, you know, do what I was doing and just make better music, you know?
Yeah.
But you need to understand as well, it's so saturated. There's
Absolutely.
millions of people making great music every
Absolutely.
single day.
Yeah.
So even if you're making great music, you're still fighting against the noise. You're still
Yep.
fighting against, you know, a sea of other people. Like, how much great music is already there anyway? There's centuries of great music
Yeah.
that you're fighting against. Plus,
We're fighting against Beethoven out here, man.
you know what I mean? Who died, you know, centuries ago.
Yeah.
And
Trying to outdo Mozart.
we're still fighting against because there's people that still want to listen to that. And
Yeah.
maybe not, that's not our lane, but we're still fighting against, you know, you're still
music.
fighting against, you know, the Juice Worlds,
Yeah.
you know, the people that are considered legends in your kind of sound.
Aye.
I'm still fighting against, you know, the DMX. I'm fighting against Kendrick, bro. Like, come on, you
Yeah.
know, like realistically,
Yeah.
like if I'm saying, my goal, you know, with this music thing is to be considered one of the best rappers. You
Yeah.
know, it's nothing else.
Yeah.
But, you know, for someone, even just one person to be like, Pac is the best rapper, you know, at one point in this timeline of life. But for me to do that, I'm going against Kendrick Lamar, who is the best rapper, you
Yeah.
know. And I mean, I don't believe I'll ever get to his level. Like, I just think he's just one of a kind. But I can be one of a kind in my own way as well, you know.
Most definitely, yeah.
You'll be one of a kind in your way as well. Like, when you think of Michael Jackson, you don't think of Prince. When you think of Prince, you don't think of Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But they're both amazing, great artists in their own rights.
Yeah.
They made similar-ish music, and they were, you know, in the same space, in the same time, whatever.
Yeah.
They were each other's competitors, but, you know, I feel like with social media, like I'm saying, so content helps break through the noise, but at the same time, a part of me is still like, well, the things that made Michael Jackson and Prince and Biggie and Juice WRLD and all these great legends, Mozart, you know, they didn't have TikTok, you know what I mean?
No.
The things that made them great wasn't what we're trying to chase, you know.
Yeah.
It is that pouring yourself. So I always believe content should be secondary to the art.
I think
That's
yeah,
my standpoint.
Yeah, I'm not gonna disagree with that. I don't know, and I've not actually sat and thought about it. I think you have to have, look, you've got to have the substance to back up the hype. You know, content is for hype.
Mm-hmm.
The art is the substance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not always been the case for me, but there have been a lot of times where I have become more of a fan of somebody as a result of getting an insight into who they are.
Mm-hmm.
When I watched the Lil Peep documentary, I was a fan. After I watched it, I was a super fan.
Mm-hmm.
And social media, you know, when Lil Peep died, even when Juice WRLD, I don't know if Juice WRLD was ever on TikTok. He died in late 2019, so I'm pretty sure TikTok was around at that point. But it was
I'm
fresh.
not too sure.
It was pretty fresh, probably.
Yeah.
Lil Peep never got on TikTok, so during his but to be fair, during his time,
So
it's
Instagram.
still Instagram lives and all that, and
Yeah.
blah 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 blah.
Even before that was Facebook.
Yeah, it was
and
giving
stuff.
people an insight into it. But we have more opportunities than ever to give people an insight into who we are, because there's sure, you can make amazing music and somebody can become a fan of you through that, cut through the noise. But you can also bring people in by showing them who you are, because you're going to show, hopefully an artist can show all sides of themselves through their music at some point or another. You know, you're not going to show every side of yourself in every single song. It's just not possible. But most of the time anyways, I haven't done it. So I think, you know, hopefully an artist can show every side to themselves at one time or another in the music. But often music is cathartic for artists, so maybe we pour the darker side into the music, and, you know, the lighter side, doesn't tend to, you know, gets kind of put on the back burner a wee bit, because you know, I'm trying to be light all the time for everyone, you know. I need to let something out. With the content, I think the content is maybe an opportunity, because my thing with the content used to be, it has to be directly related to the music. Like, maybe it's like, you know, it has, like, if my music is categorized as emo in some regard, then maybe my content has to also be emo. For it to make sense. But, you know, I was just out on the street, you know, just pranking people, and there wasn't much emo about it. You know, and I think, to be honest with you, I mean, tell me what you think. Somebody who shows one aspect of themselves to people, or somebody who shows, let's just say, two aspects of themselves to people, who's got more chance of relating to more people? Somebody who shows two aspects of themselves. Somebody who shows all aspects of themselves, that would be ideal. But if you only show one aspect to yourself to people, then you're narrowing down the people who can relate to you. Because if I show a certain part of myself through my music, then cool, some people are going to relate to that. And then I show a completely different part of myself through my content, well, then completely different people who didn't relate to me through my music might now relate to me through my content. And then they might be like, oh, he makes music, and they might listen to it and might like it. They might not. They might just like me from my content, in which case that's great. Because at the end of the day, I think that the thing we need to focus on as artists is promoting ourselves. We are promoting ourselves as a brand. I never used to understand this, but I think I'm starting to understand it a bit better now. Promoting ourselves as a brand, and instead of promoting the song, you know, I think that's, I think that's a good idea now.
No, like I would agree, you know. And it's different ways, because even this, what we're doing, this is content.
100%.
Think about it, you know. Like, I'm here like, oh no, content is bad. I sit here for 2 hours making content for people to consume, and for people to get a different view from me as the brand, as the artist, you know. Like, maybe they've heard me, but now they're getting to hear me speak and speak my mind, and see, you know, what you truly believe in, and who you are as a person. So I think content isn't the enemy, but it's like it's like that quote, someone told me it recently, like, your enemy to yourself, if I'm misquoting it badly, I always do this, but if you're trying to be a friend to everyone, you're being an enemy to yourself.
Absolutely.
Right. And I say that to say, if you're making content just to be liked or just to appeal to everyone, you're not doing yourself justice. You know, content needs, like, you need to make content that you enjoy. Like, don't just make content because, oh, these people are making content, let me go and do something. So that's why I liked when you said to me that the content you enjoy watching is the pranks and stuff and the funny stuff. So you'll make that, even if it's not, you know, hugely correlated to your music. It's just fun to do. Like it's actually something you enjoy doing, like music. Like, you're not making like, oh, German pop is going crazy, let me start making some German pop. You know what I mean? You're just doing you. So content should also serve that kind of whatever niche you enjoy. I
think for artists, if you're struggling to think, what do I enjoy in terms of content? Well, what do you watch? You know, I watch pranks. I watch some of the Riz stuff as well. Usually, if it's the sillier the better. I'm not really somebody who I don't go. There is the odd time I'll discover a new artist on social media. I've discovered a fair few, but I've never become really fully ingrained as a fan of their music. I usually become a big fan of somebody when it's either recommended to me, or maybe just a spontaneous. I mean, TikTok and that, obviously it's spontaneous discovering people. I'm not sure who did I discover that I became like, I was like, oh, I really like this guy. Probably like Netspend. Do you know Netspend? Have you seen him? He's like an underground rapper.
Not too great with
America.
With names.
It's a wee bit. It's not necessarily the kind of thing that I would associate with the stuff you listen to, right? It's more like my kind of like weird left field stuff. So
bro, you'd be surprised if you heard what I listened to in the
I've got a very funny SoundCloud song to play. Ridiculous, like just classic SoundCloud. But yeah, maybe Netspend was one. Maybe I discovered him just because there were so many memes. Like the underground are like big on making memes. It's not really something that I'm into or really fully understand. A lot of the stuff, I just don't really think it's that funny. But yeah, I like pranks and stuff. So, you know, I don't know how I'll edit the prank. Maybe I'll do a text hook where I say, you know, making it awkward and then singing my lyrics to strangers. One of the things about marketing is that, and social media marketing is you don't want somebody to know you're selling. So if I put in the text hook making things awkward and then, you know, and then singing my lyrics, there's a kind of tipping point where if I provide enough entertainment, like I have to earn the right to plug myself. So if I make a really entertaining video, then I've earned the right to mention like my product.
Yeah, so it's not like a cold type thing.
No, that's the typical label, the big label strategy is the cold thing, you know. We're gonna make as many songs as possible.
It is. Take it and buy it.
Yes, love me.
Yeah.
You know, that's the mistake that we make as artists is please, love me for my art.
Yeah.
I think because of the internet and TikTok and social media, we're at a point where it's just like you know, it's just like the music is so oversaturated. Well, that's the music still, isn't it? The music's very oversaturated, and you're competing with that. The content's extremely saturated as well, you know. So I'm not sitting here saying, oh, you know, you can come over and make content and it'll be easy. It won't be. It'll be really, really. You're gonna have to push yourself, and you know, I like to think when we were just doing the prank stuff, and I was saying to Osa, I was thinking, cool, what can we do that's going to put us in a club of like 5% or 1% where just like 95% of people just wouldn't do it? Because going out on the street and actually just cold approaching people is difficult enough in itself. Like most people probably wouldn't do it. But then like when we first started doing that earlier, when I was just so nervous, of about 20 minutes I was like, I don't know if I can do this. First few I did went down like a lead balloon, and then, you know, at one point I'm just sitting in the middle of two girls in a bench, just say nothing, and then I start singing my lyrics like really monotone in a stupid way. And just being really silly, and I'm sure when it comes out it'll be cringe as hell. So it'll be absolutely perfect.
No, it's a tough thing to get right, like content wise, but for me, I kind of but I'm starting to learn. Right, so there's two things actually I want to mention. So one thing that I've learned so far is like, just like you said, it's entertainment. You know, you need to earn the right to be able to promote your thing. You know, and I've learned there was some TikTok marketing type thing. It was just a girl doing her makeup, just giving tips on TikTok. But she was saying, you know, show the most exciting thing first. So if in your video you almost get punched. That should be the first thing people see.
Yeah.
I then play the video from where it should start. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So people are like, oh, damn, okay.
We're waiting for it.
Let me
Yeah.
get to that point, you know?
Yeah, man.
That kind of the hook, like you said. But also, it's that thing of like, don't try too hard, but don't try too little as well.
Yes, it's a fine balance.
It's a weird thin balance. Like people, like you've watched videos yourself, and you're like, this artist is just trying to go viral.
Yeah.
It's like what they're doing is working, but it's just not for you. You're like they're trying too hard to go viral.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think trying. I'm gonna say that I think if it's working, then I'm gonna say it's valid because I just know how difficult it is to get anything working.
Right.
I think, but you're right. Is that I mean, trying too hard and trying too little they're both nervous. That's kind of like both like anxiety. Either way, it's like when you reach that middle ground where you're kind of like able to kind of center yourself and do that. But I mean, I mean, like obviously we spent a bit of time in the studio, me, you, and Ascendo, and you know I had never spent time with you guys like that before. And so I realized with the banter that you guys were having, I was like, these guys are hilarious. You know what I mean? Like this like really
big up Ascendo,
big
man.
up Ascendo, man. Like that's the kind of banter that I love. You know, just childish. Like you just love that. And I feel like you know that's something that you could show on through your content if you chose to. You know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like
the two of you should do a podcast.
Oh. Yeah, Sendo's coming on.
That would be funny, man.
Nah, Sendo's definitely coming on, man. We're trying to get him.
He's very funny, like.
Yeah, we're gonna get him the right time, definitely. But I do agree, like a lot of these things in content, why the work is like it's almost like a fly in the wall type thing. I feel I'm still figuring out my content because I don't actually watch TikTok.
Right.
I just go on TikTok to be the seller.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm not the consumer as well. So I'm not watching stuff and being like, oh, that's what I enjoy, you know. But I'm on Instagram a lot.
Yeah.
You know, so
do you watch like YouTube shorts at all or anything like that? No.
Not really. But they're all different spaces. You can't really have one video to fit all.
No, definitely not.
That's the error a lot of artists, including myself, make. Like I just make a bit of content and post them all to the same thing.
Yeah.
Which, you know, why not?
Which most people do, by the way.
Which most people do.
And actually, I you know, like before, like when you get to the point where you're like thinking, oh, I'm gonna post this content here and this content here and this content here. That's pretty advanced. Like it's not something that, like I think it's pretty advanced.
Yeah, definitely.
And I do know there are certain things that like just will work on TikTok that just won't work on Instagram.
Yeah, and vice versa.
But I'm guilty of looking for. I'm looking for the holy grail. You know, I'm looking for the style that works across everything.
One fits all.
I think there are people who have that, but a lot of the times you see with these artists who do well, they either do well on one platform or the other a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And just what you were saying about the not consuming the TikTok. Like I was the exact same. I've always been like that. I wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't watch it at all, really. And then in the last wee while, I dedicate like some time every week, and it's just like it's research time.
Yeah.
And I just flick the FYP until I see something that I'm like, okay, right, maybe we can grab that link and not, you know. But to be honest with you, after a really short amount of time, I'm like, right, these are the best content creators. Like find them and then see the people in their kind of like in their kind of circle environment, and then it's just most of the time going back to the same people.
Right.
I discovered this guy called like Suko or something.
Right.
Who he was, because there's three guys. There's like Jake, Jo, and then there's a band called Crash Adams. But they're pretty much all, and Johnny Valentine as well. Like these guys are like. Well, they're probably all in LA because I've seen them in each other's videos.
Right.
That's what made me want to like bring a group of artists together in Scotland, because I was like, these guys are all working together and helping each other. Makes sense for me to try and I found this guy Suko, and he was making really cool content too. It's completely different than the other guys. He had this thing that was like a chest harness where it was like the phone would sit on the end, or the camera, and he would do something funny, and then it would switch to the POV angle, and it was his face, like, and he's usually running away from something because he's done something weird.
Right.
But
is he a musician or
yeah.
Right.
So because if it like that's people say you can steal from other niches as well, and I think the only way to steal from other niches is like the format of the video. Maybe if you saw like just like a how to, like, you see what you're talking about, the girls doing the makeup. You know, the reason that that does well, and obviously there's varying degrees, but it's the same as with the Charli D'Amelio dance stuff, you know, how TikTok started, because you're showing somebody how to do something that they want to do. Let's assume that it's a good video and that people actually want to copy it. You're showing somebody how to do something that they want to do, so you're providing value. I think that would be categorized as education. Education and potentially entertainment, certainly for the dance. But the thing about that is people will rewatch that video over and over and over and over again. So the watch time will just be like, the average watch time will be over 100%.
Because you're trying to learn it.
Because you're doing maybe like one stage at a time. You know, so you watch over and over and over and over again.
And
so
they'll
if you
send
can
it to
do
someone
that,
else, like, oh, you should learn this with me, because potentially if it's like a dance or something, once you learn it, you want your friends to learn it as well, so you can do it for TikTok for you to post. You know? It's that, you know, it's all feeding into each other, so then you're sharing it. Definitely. I think so. Another thing this TikTok marketer was saying, like, it needs to either be entertainment or educational. I feel like that's the only two.
They say inspiration as well, maybe, but I'm like, how do you plan to be inspiring? Like,
you
just be inspired by doing something good, right?
No, but I think things you can plan for is you can be right. This is pure entertainment. You know, it's going to entertain people, or, you know, it's going to teach someone something. But yeah, man, it's this content game is ever evolving, and that's the thing. I feel like that's what puts off a lot of people, because what's relevant today is not relevant next week, and then it's just, you feel overwhelmed with the size of the task at hand. You know what I mean? So you really need to be on it. Like, if a song blows up on TikTok today, right, and I want to do an open verse on it, and I'm planning it, right, but I leave it until next week, no one's gonna care. Quite possibly. You know what I mean? That's unless it's like a massive song where it's like carrying on for weeks and weeks. But if it's one of those viral ones, like for example, I was gonna do an open verse that YJ.
Oh, the Black and Tan?
No YJ. That song. What's his name? Baby, calm down. I'm just trying to be nice. Right. The he's like, I don't want to misdiagnose him, but I think he's got like autism or something. He's a rapper from London.
Right.
Yeah, but he had a song anyway, which kind of blew up, and he done an open verse, and I was like, all right, cool, because the beat was nice. I was gonna do it, but just left it too late. Like, no one cares anymore. You know what I mean? It's potentially even cringe now to try and hop on a trend where it's like
trend jacking is what they call it, where and you're exactly right. The sooner you know something happens, you make your thing relevant to it, and the sooner you do it, the bigger the views. I've never actually done anything like that. I've done like what they call social hack, where you piggyback off of an existing audience. So for example, if I go on social media and I sing a Lil Peep cover, then I am, if it's good and people like it, well, not everyone's gonna like it, but if it gets pushed by, if it does well enough in the metrics, then it will automatically piggyback off of his existing audience, so it will do better automatically than if it wasn't, if his audience didn't exist already. So those are, you know, because artists have been doing covers and stuff on socials for the longest time. I don't necessarily see it as much now. It's maybe a bit dead, but these things are probably like fashion. Like they probably come back around. Like, but I don't think it's something that I'll really put much emphasis on. I don't really feel like I have the resources to do covers. I'm not a guy. I don't mix. I don't process my own vocals or anything like that. I'm not very confident with it. So it's a good skill to have, though. I would definitely recommend it to people because I've found myself wanting it.
Yeah, but it's just one of those ones that will take too long for you to actually get things pushed out unless you do it yourself. Yeah,
because you can have a chain. You can have like I've got presets. Like I've got templates, vocal chains from producers who I've worked with. But every single you can't just use one size. It's not one size fits all. So.
Yeah. You need to tweak it in some way.
Yeah.
But nah, man, it's an interesting conversation. I don't think I've really ever spoke about content in that way because like I'm saying, my views on content, they've never been negative, but they've never been positive either. In the sense where I've always just been like, meh. Yeah.
What was the approach? You know, when you first started, what was the thought? Was it was it the old school thing where somebody will see me and type of thing? I'll
start making content.
No. Like when you first started making music.
Oh right.
First started making music. You know, was it that kind of old approach, old school approach where you know hopefully somebody discovers me or you know type of thing like that?
Yeah. I think for me it was more so like just, you know, prove your worth, prove, you know, to people that they should invest in you, which I still think is really important. Like even if you're doing content, that's why we're talking about, like, even if you're making content, you still need to have the substance, like you said, substance, you know. So my approach when I started music, obviously I was really young, so my thought process behind it was probably, you know, 60% I'm gonna be cool, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be in everyone's faces and everyone's gonna think I'm the cool guy, because I'm not naturally the cool guy per se.
Me neither.
Yeah, I was
the least cool person
in like school.
Yeah,
I'm like a social butterfly.
Right.
So I'll talk to the cool guys and I'll be considered as the cool guys, probably because like I was the big guy and I was you know, big black guy, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I would also talk to the like quote unquote geeks who no one would sit with in lunch, and they were cool because we're talking about like PlayStation games and cartoons and stuff, you know. The things that, like, I wasn't out playing football with the guys, I was with the girls skipping and stuff beside them, you know what I mean?
Right.
Which was strange to me, you know what I mean? But I just wasn't into football. I would play basketball and stuff, but I was doing like handstands with the girls instead and doing that, you know what I mean?
It sounds like a good strategy, to be honest. I think if you're at school, when you're at school, I think being at school is the only time people would take the mick out of you for wanting to hang around with women.
Yeah, literally, man.
When you're an adult, people are just like, why are there no girls here?
yeah. It's like, bro, because you're toxic, bro. You're toxic. No, but literally, I was like, yo, if you're cool, you're cool. I don't care if you're sitting there by yourself, you know.
Yeah.
So I kind of grew up. When I started music, I was like, oh shit, like
I might be cool now.
Yeah, like I'm cool, but
am I cool now?
But for me, it was like, it was being cool to myself more. Like, I've never really cared about what people think of me in that sense, but I just never felt like I was, you know, cool or I was interesting.
But it doesn't sound like you were particularly insecure or anything.
I kind of was. I was insecure in the sense where, like, I was good enough in school, but not excelling.
Right.
You know, like, I was always like, oh, like, parents like, Peter's really smart, but he just doesn't put himself, like, he doesn't apply himself, you know?
Yeah, I had that.
So I was doing well enough to, like, be considered smart, but failing in classes because I didn't really care.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that. I didn't play football. I wasn't really good at football, or really, like, I played basketball in high school, but I wasn't like the best at it, you know. So for me, I was like, I'm trying to find what I'm best at.
Yeah.
And there was nothing else. School wasn't it.
I hear you.
Sports wasn't it. So I was like, what? Then I found music, and I was like, yo, this is actually something where I see myself better than everyone else, you know.
Yeah.
So as much as being cool, and that's what goes back to what I was saying, my dream in this is to be the best rapper. Like, I'm not trying to be the cool guy who you see on TV. I'm trying to be the guy who you think, yo, you remember that guy in the 2020s, like when it's like 2060, like that guy Pac. Like people telling their kids about this guy Pac, bro. He came up, he was really doing, you know.
Yeah. So you want it's legacy, isn't it?
Legacy, man.
Legacy and longevity. It's kind of like the you know, often the antithesis of what we see now with the TikTok era. I think that, again, that's why I would recommend that people don't just that's why I recommend that people do put a lot of thought and time and effort into their content, because
just don't do anything just for the sake of it, because you can actually in turn ruin your legacy and ruin your credibility. Like, how many people have you seen in the pursuit of trying to get viral just like do the opposite and just make you go, oh, this guy is just like just fame hungry, man.
There's like, a lot. Well, I know what you mean. Like, there's certainly, like, I think every case is individual, right? So some people make certain choices that don't sit well with other people. You know, and I think ultimately, if I was somebody like that, I would just keep trucking, because I've got nothing to gain by being affected by other people's perceptions. But I'm not one of those people, and I do look at certain people and think, it's not great.
Yeah.
But do your thing, because this game is bloody ruthless.
Yeah. No, definitely. I actually have come to like content, because much like you're saying, the music, you can hide behind a certain facade. You know, like you can be the kid who got bullied in school, but your music can represent that you're the guy now, you know what I mean? But when you make content, it's pretty clear when you're in how you present yourself, you know, what type of person you are,
where you're at with yourself,
you know, and that's why it's important, like you're saying, to almost know who you are first before you do content. It's a bit of a deep one, like people just think of content like, right, it's calm down, guys, it's not that deep, you know, but it kind of is, because, for example, like, imagine now you see me doing content where I'm trying to rizz up girls, and I'm just being mad cringe and mad like creepy and stuff, you know what I mean? Trying to get a certain reaction, you know. You look at me different, you're like, yo, I didn't think Pac was like that, you know. He's got a girl, like, what's this? Like, it's not authentic, you know. So I know there's certain content where I might watch that and just think, cool, it's funny, but I'm not gonna replicate it, because it's not me, you know.
That's fair enough.
So there's certain things where I'm like, okay, cool, like, even if I enjoy watching it, it's not me, you know. And I wouldn't, me being a legacy first type of artist, I'm thinking, like, as much as I want to be seen, I want to be seen for the right reasons and in the right way. Like, I would much rather my track have, you know, my streams or my social media profiles be at a, you know, all right level, but I have my dignity. People can be like, right, this guy, he's legit, he does what it means. Then, you know, be racking up the streams, but doing things that, you know, you're doing something strange for a bit of change, you know what I mean?
Well, that's very true. I think it's really easy to, I think I'm probably about to go into that. I'm probably about to start exploring that territory. You know, where do I become a clown? You know, when do I start becoming a clown?
Right.
You know, I'm probably about to figure that out, because I'm sure, listen, if I do something that's really out of pocket, then I'll not be posting it. So you'll never know. But you know, I'm kind of...
It's good to know your limits, though.
I'm at that point where I'm thinking, right, I'm willing to take risks, to, you know, if it will, you know, further my career.
Yeah.
You know, ultimately, I think I think the first protocol for us all as artists is we want to be full-time in music. You know, we really want to be full-time in music, don't we? So I think that the content aspect of it is gonna... I think with it done correctly, I think that's a ticket. And I think we want to be full time, and the what was I about to say? I lost my train of thought a wee bit. The content, we want to be full time, and the content is gonna so we're a business. We need to think of ourselves as a business. A business or a brand, and how do we? I just think, can we market ourselves if we're not on socials? Oh, we're not.
Yeah,
we can't market ourselves. I mean, if I was making a competitor for Highland Spring, then I would want the marketing to be as good as it possibly can, and I think it would be a lot easier for me to push and take risks with the branding of something that doesn't have my face on it, because it's less risky. With us, for a start, we take the risk of going on the stage, performing our art, having the tomatoes thrown at us and booze. People booing, not throwing booze at us, but maybe some bottles. Who knows what you could get chucked over you in a venue these days.
Literally.
Oh my god. So we already take that risk of going on a stage. Now I think we have to take the risk in a different way by going on social media and exposing ourselves. Not
maybe not exposing yourself. I don't know what content you've been making. But if you see some OF content come out,
if you see that, I mean, I was walking down the street there and shot a video when this guy, and I said thanks for being in the video, and he said no bother, you know, like OnlyFans girl just did a street interview with me yesterday, and I was like, I wish you did a street interview with me. Like, what's going on? But yeah, this is the marketing branch of our business, and I just think how there's a few artists who don't post on socials. The Opium guys. The Opium guys don't post on socials. That is their brand. Their marketing is the mysterious
mystery.
The mystery of it. And you know, they've got Playboy Carti to thank for that, because he pioneered it and he signed them. They just behave like him, and then you know, they get to be Playboy Carti from Wish, which is what they are. Although I do like a few songs from a lot of the Opium artists, but they are Playboy Carti from Wish. And yeah, it's the marketing wing. So just
but even that is marketing for them not being
absolutely
on social medias.
Well, it's a what would you say that is? What would you say it is, like, when you know what, we all know that Carti doesn't post on social media. So like that takes on the fact he doesn't post on social media, and we all know that he doesn't. And also, like, he's managed to build this thing where he just teases his fans all the time. So
just never drops.
He just doesn't drop me.
And you see people like in his comment. There's a few artists like that, and sometimes I think, is this part of the marketing? Or is this because there's a few artists like ASAP Rocky is the same, where in his comments everyone's like, "Where's the album? Drop that album!" And there's like a few artists like Tyler was the same a bit. I think Kanye disappointed people a little bit, where people were like that with him, and now they're kind of like, give us better albums, you know. With Vultures too.
Poor
But
Kanye, man, he can't win.
Kanye, I think, bro, Kanye is just one of, like, he's a genius.
Yeah, he's,
you know, and that comes with the territory of having, like, nothing's all right with him. It's either something's really bad, or he makes something really good. You know, like he's never in between, and that just comes with the territory.
And you know, he might even do things on. He might actually, you know, I wouldn't put it past him to do something like release bad music on purpose.
Yeah,
it might be part of the strategy. Because
there used to be this meme of like, Kanye is the type of person to drop an album of just silence. Like every song is just silent. People are just like,
this is banging.
Like, this is sick. But he literally is that type of artist. He would do that as like a, you know, a revolt to society or to the music industry or something, like, watch me make millions of money without dropping anything, and this is and you kind of put it in a way like, this is the power of being a real artist, or whatever the case you may.
And I even think that it might be something. I even think, I'm not saying that that's what he does, because I don't know, but I'm saying that I think it's quite possible that an artist of his stature could have such a long-term plan, because you don't drop a bad album on a whim. You might drop a bad, but and I'm not saying he does this on purpose. He might have just dropped an album that just sucked, and he thought it was fire, which I don't know.
Which is probably what happened.
Maybe, but if he has, like, these guys maybe have, you know, you got to have. I do think that's another thing that I want to have is just like I said earlier, organization, planning and organization. I really, really believe in that, because for me, if everything is mapped out, that really removes so much thinking. Because, I mean, even just on a day-to-day basis, if my day is planned, say I'm shooting a video tomorrow, and I say it's a fashion video. If I write a plan for it today or whenever, then when it comes to the day before, I can say, this is the equipment that I need, so I'll lay it out. These are the clothes that I need, so I'll lay them out. Even things as simple as that mean that when it comes to tomorrow and it's time to shoot the video, all the equipment's right there. I don't have to worry about, where did I put that? That's unnecessary stress, and it gets in the way. With the outfit, it's all there. I don't have to go and be like, what should I wear? What should I put on? You know, so just things like that, but maybe on a larger scale. The more I think that can be done, you know, I don't like situations. I don't think situations where there's like gaps where I have to think on my feet. I don't think that's helpful.
No.
I don't think that you want to be. I don't think you want to be thinking on the fly. I think certain situations in life, sure, like car comes towards you, you get out of the way, right?
Yeah, you're not gonna plan it.
You're not gonna.
If I jump in this direction,
and get someone to film it. And I'll look like James Bond. I might do that.
No, planning is so essential in anything you do in life. I think planning is your biggest tool in life in general. Definitely you need to be able to be flexible though. Like don't put your plans concrete. So concrete that if something comes your way, you're like, my plans are ruined. Now I can't shoot the video because there's a stain on this white top that I was gonna wear. Everything's ruined. I need to put it on tomorrow, and then that demoralizes you. And tomorrow you don't really want to do it because you're meant to do it today. But why did that thing? You know?
Yes, absolutely.
Flexible in a sense where, alright, cool. You got 3 t-shirts. You know, 3 t-shirts ready. Even if that t-shirts get all of them, something happen. alright, cool, wear a different
Yeah.
type thing. You know, be topless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever it takes, but you're so planned that you can. It's not like, oh no, the trousers are dirty, the t-shirt's dirty. Oh, the lens on this camera is missing. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like a snowball of things, and now you're just completely out of it. But
100%.
yeah, planning's so important in music, in content, but
In life. Aye.
in life. But keeping that spontaneity, I think that's the word.
Yep.
That's,
I agree with you.
That's essential, even when it comes to music. Like, you wanna. Every time I go to the studio, I have a plan of what I want to do. So because sometimes I can go to the studio and just sit on my phone for like 30 minutes. And I'm like, crap, I need to get some work. So I a lot of the time I know, okay, cool, I'm gonna re-record this song. I'm gonna record this song, but you know, I have enough time that I can just sit there, play some beats. You know, you know, just soak up. So definitely, but I think we're gonna need to wrap it there. We're gonna need to wrap this. You know, we've been talking for like an hour and a half.
Cool.
So I think we're just gonna ride out with a few songs before
bangers.
we go. A few bangers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just see what we got lined up. But apart from that, do you have any closing thoughts? What you working on? You already told us you've got some music on the way. What was the name of the track?
Oh, the one that's coming out in the month. The Renegade.
Renegade. That's the one.
The Renegade.
So you guys look out for Renegade, man.
Come on.
I'm not sure that would be a banger, man. You've not disappointed this year, so
Thank you.
hey, keep them coming, man. Keep them coming. But yeah, man. For you, like, what do you want to say? What do you want to tell people?
What do I want to say? Oh, just thanks for having me. If you you know, it's been a pleasure to come and chat to you. I think it's been great. It's really good to you know, it's not felt like we're sitting here with mics, like pushing our faces with the cameras on. Like, we're just having a chat, like.
Definitely.
And yeah, if there's any artists listening to this, then keep doing your thing.
Keep doing your thing, man. Hey, that's a perfect way to end. I'm gonna leave it on that. I think before we go, we can get a few more tracks. Let's get Freed by Catherine Ali. So Ferud. So like what's his name?
Freud.
I'm saying Freud. Freud. Yeah,
Everybody loves a bit of Freud.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna ride out with Freud, Catherine Ali. Let's get it.
Oh, baby, you're just a boy with a lot. What's up with your mom?
Yeah, that was Freud by Catherine Ali. Banger, man. We're gonna try and get her on the show sometime soon. So yeah, Catherine, come on, man. But I think we got time for one more. So you know, we got to go with my boy.
Go on.
We done Ride or Die, his latest single. So we're gonna do one of my personal favorites, to be honest. Romeo and Juliet Are Wasted by Alx Romance. Let's get it.
Romeo and Juliet are wasted. Romeo and Juliet are wasted. Romeo and Juliet are getting on the face.
Yeah, man. That's the show for today. This was essentially season 2, bro.
It's alright.
This is pretty much episode 1 of season 2. We took a little break. We got our ish together. Figured out the show. We want to get, different type of guests on. So yeah, you guys are going to be seeing different type of guests, artists as well, of course, but there's lots of other people in the industry who need a shine and
Sure.
What they want to say. But appreciate you for coming on, bro.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. All right, love and peace, guys. in a bit.